What happens now? Hurricane Harvey may have moved on from the Lone Star State, but the damage it brought on Houston and other areas is still ever present. Harvey may be the most expensive natural disaster to hit the U.S., with damage estimated at $190 billion, or a 1% hit to the GNP. Gas prices have risen in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, as several oil refineries on the Gulf Coast were incapacitated by the storm. Texans also face significant health risks from contact with floodwaters, which are potentially contaminated with bacteria from compromised wastewater facilities and chemicals from toxic Superfund sites. Public water systems are likewise affected and have rendered thousands of people with no access to safe drinking water. Residents are being advised to boil water before drinking or to just use bottled water. Massive flooding in homes and businesses may also cause mold growth, which in turn may exacerbate existing health issues. Relief efforts are pouring in, but even so, the state's road to recovery looks to be long and slow, especially as floods in some parts of the state have yet to subside. There's nothing worse than Mother Nature on a rampage.
A widening sinkhole has closed an Oregon coastal highway. The sinkhole has caused the closure of Oregon's Highway 101, threatening all lanes. No injuries have been reported. On Thursday, January 28th, the hole opened and kept growing following a nearby landslide which had broken a local water main. Dubbed a monster sinkhole, seen on the left, it is believed to be tied to another sinkhole, seen on the right, that began in mid-December. Thursday's sinkhole opened on Highway 101, while December's hole opened in the neighboring parking lot between the Chevron gas station and what once was Harbor Cafe. Crews have been working to repair the initial sinkhole when the second reared its ugly head. The first hole, like the new one, kept growing, reaching 50 feet in diameter with a depth of 50 to 70 feet. It began with initial depth of 7 feet and a width about the size of a volleyball. Officials have yet to be able to provide a size estimate for Thursday's hole, but you don't really need a measuring tape to make a good yo mama joke.
Super Typhoon Apartheid sweeps through Taiwan. Super Typhoon Apartheid swept through Taiwan on July 8th. 2 days prior, Apartheid intensified from a tropical storm to a Category 5 typhoon. So far, 1 death and 1 injury have been reported by the Taiwan Central Emergency Operations Center. The typhoon made landfall early Friday about 10 miles south of Taidong City with sustained winds at 150 miles per hour. According to the Weather Channel, Apartheid landed as a Category 4 storm. Some locations saw more than 12 inches of rain that morning. More than 15,000 people have been evacuated. Infrared satellite imagery of Apartheid exhibited an impressively large eye and near-perfect symmetry as it moved toward the island. While an advisory was released prior to landfall, many stores remained open, only closing when winds grew too strong. The typhoon has reportedly damaged buildings and was seen overturning cars. The storm was expected to last through the day. Apartheid has broken a record-long storm-free streak for the Western Pacific. AccuWeather reports the last named storm hit in December 2015, nearly 200 days ago.
Inferno spreads across Canada's Fort McMurray. 88,000 evacuated. An entire city burns as fire tears through forests and wooded areas in northern Alberta, Canada. A wildfire that sparked on May 1st has spread to such catastrophic proportions it quite honestly resembles hell on earth. Sizzling temperatures, high winds, and dry conditions combined to create the disaster scenario, leading authorities to evacuate roughly 88,000 people in the city and surrounding area. Miraculously, there have been no reports of deaths or injuries thus far. Temperatures rose to as high as 32.6 degrees Celsius on May 3rd, the fire unrelenting as emergency crews battled the flames and smoke overhead. A state of emergency has been declared across the province of Alberta for the time being, as a reported 1,600 structures have been lost to the raging Inferno among the 7,400 acres of land that have been burnt to a crisp. Temperatures are expected to drop down significantly over the next few days, which will aid firefighters in their attempts to calm the mighty blaze.
Over 50 people missing and dozens of buildings buried after a massive landslide in China. A landslide hit Shenzhen, China on Sunday, leaving dozens of buildings buried, and according to state-run media, at least 59 people missing. The BBC reports that a person living around 4 kilometers from the site described hearing a loud explosion at around noon when the landslide hit. State-run Xinhua news agency reports the landslide also ruptured a gas pipeline, causing an explosion at the Hengtaiyu Industrial Park. China's Public Security Bureau's firefighting unit said 20,000 square meters was covered with soil, an area roughly the size of 2 standard FIFA regulation soccer pitches. There are conflicting reports as to how many buildings collapsed and how many people are dead and missing. Government officials say at least 1,500 workers are at the scene helping with the rescue effort. However, there has so far been no official word as to what caused the landslide. Italy earthquake kills more than 150 people. A magnitude 6.2 earthquake struck central Italy early Wednesday. The origin of the earthquake was about 100 kilometers northeast of Rome. Nearby historic towns of Armatrice, Accumoli, and Pescara del Tronto were torn apart. The quake struck at 3:36 a.m. local time, while many were still asleep. Many people are still buried under the rubble. Reports say more than 150 people have been killed and many more have been injured.